strange, but I know what you're all thinking. I look like a 16-year-old who looks like a 6-year-old. And because of this, there's basically 3 types of guys who are attracted to me. Kids, Japanese anime fanatics, and pedophiles. I don't have too big of a problem with the first 2, but it's the third one. The third one that kind of bothers me. There's this one time I was walking on the street, and a guy, mid-30s, comes up to me and says, "Damn, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen on this street." I looked around, and I was literally the only one there. And after badly flirting with me for a couple more minutes, he finally asked how old I am, and I said 23, and then he said, "Oh, I thought you were 16. Like with a disappointed expression on his face. So after that, I was thinking, did I say something to lead him on? Because sometimes I'm pretty bad with my word choices. Like when I was in high school, I had this 7 a.m. class, and because it was pretty early, I would miss breakfast a lot. But my teacher, Mr. Toby, always had some snacks on his desk, and the one that I always eyed was the Costco-sized jar of almonds. And one day, Mr. Toby said, "Hey, Julie, you look pretty tired. Do you want any of my snacks?" And then I stood up with the most gleeful expression on my face and said, "Yes, Mr. Toby, I've been craving your nuts for a very long time." Yeah, so after that, I was known as the nut craver. But on the plus side, I got to eat Mr. Toby's nuts for the rest of the semester. Because remember, there's 3 types of guys who are attracted to me. So recently, a lot of people are talking about how it's unfair how much privilege white people have, and everyone's really angry about that. And this got me thinking, white people just picked the wrong time to be in power, Because in the 1200s, when Genghis Khan was running the world, when Mongolians invaded Turkey, the Turkish people didn't say, like, "Oh gosh, there's not enough representation in the media," There was no hashtag Turkish Lives Matter, They're way too busy getting raped and pillaged. They don't have time for that. And Genghis Khan, he raped 80% of that population, but there's no Me Too movement, there was no backlash on him. So white people, at least you're better than Genghis Khan. At least got that going for you, So don't be too hard on yourself. But with all this talk about white privilege, no one ever talks about little Asian girl privilege. And from personal experience, we actually have a lot. So cops are getting a lot of heat for targeting minorities and things like that. But I've had it pretty good with them. There have been 4 times I've been pulled over by the police because it looked like I was drunk driving. I wasn't, I'm just a bad driver. So yes, that stereotype is true for me. But each time it went something like this, so I pull over, the cop comes and says, "Ma'am, have you been driving under the influence?" And I say, "No, officer, I haven't." And they say, "Well, okay then, have a good night, ma'am." And that's it. No other interrogation, nothing. True story, actually. Even crazier, I was planning a trip to San Diego, but I drove a little too down south and ended up in Mexico. And because I wasn't planning on crossing international borders, I didn't have my passport. Also, I lost my driver's license. Yeah, so I had 0 identification on me. And when I was going to the border, I was getting really nervous because the car in front of me was getting searched for drugs, with the dogs checking the trunks, all that stuff, right, to see if they smuggled anybody. So when it was finally my turn to talk to the Border Patrol officer, I told them, "I have no ID on me. I just kind of wound up here. But would it be possible for me to cross?" The officer said, "Where do you live?" I said, "Garden Grove, California." And they said, "Good enough for me." I'm not even joking. These are all true stories. By this point, I'm so confident in my little Asian girl privilege that I could show up to a school, a knife in one hand, a gun in the other, a bomb strapped to my chest, and people would just say, "Cool cosplay." Hi, I'm Mark Norman, everyone.